Hello everybody and welcome back to the Brightworks and another match of Beyond All Reason, where today we're taking a look at everybody's favorite Supreme Isthmus, spawning right here in the tech position for the front line of the Supreme, the blue team, the Supreme team in blue. The Supreme Isthmus Supreme team. Am I going overboard on the Supreme here? It's the Cortex commander that goes by the name of Tartrazine. Tartrazine hailing at a mighty 19 open skill and some bronze chevrons as well. It's going to be a learner's match today, so we'll be watching, critiquing, and most importantly, learning and seeing exactly what these players get up to. Going to be a bot lab here and a solar panel. Okay. Wind speed, pretty abysmal right here for the blue team, so we are going to be looking for a more stable energy solution, it would appear, for our blue commander, and I think that's all understandable. All the way on the other side, spawning in the naval position here, handing over a solar panel. Interesting. It's gonna be Quetzalcoatl. Quetzalcoatl, the green commander, pardon me, the green commander, the red commander. Having a hard time with colors today, huh? Need to warm up doing my color warm-ups, right? Usually I do some red leather, yellow leather, vocal warm-ups, but apparently I need to go down the color list and like, all right, red, yellow, orange. Apparently a bunch of battle pauses. My goodness, this is quite annoying. Hopefully it's the right replay. I think so. Okay, we'll keep going. We'll keep going. Taking it live. Anyway, red commander going to be playing as the the red team leader here, going to be playing as the Navy commander. So going into the water right here, getting their feet wet, and going to be seeing exactly what they can do. So already right off the bat, this solar panel is a massive waste of metal. If you're going to be handing, the reason he handed this over, I understand the reason why this was handed over, is so that we can get a transport early on. It was handed over to the air players so that it's, it's basically a pretty commonly accepted trade at this point is 2 wind turbines will get you a transport early on in the game. Helps your air player build up their economy a little bit, and then yeah, eventually you can manage to get yourself into a nice little transportation situation. However, Dr. No is not building transports. No transports to be seen. A little bit of a lack of communication there, perhaps, as Dr. No, is left without any transports here. There we go. Finally going to build one of those transports and send it forward. Sometimes accompanying this with a scouting plane can be really useful as well, just to make sure that you don't accidentally get shot down. There we go. Oh, okay, so we're sending some fighters forward. Okay. Probably a little bit more than the red commander was expecting or was hoping to, maintain. Just a more costly investment. Oh, actually, okay. Well, this fighter is having a really hard time, but it is trying its best. Okay, it gets shot down. Thought I might be able to snipe that transport right there. That would have been really nice, but unfortunately not going to be the case. Transport will survive, and Frighten will be able to start pumping out those fighters over here. Two of the fighters in red have already made their way over to the island on the right-hand side, and the red commander is getting ready to move, well, their commander over to that side as well. We do have the commander flying on the southern side here. Fighters patrolling back and forth in the front here, just trying to make sure that they have coverage of this area. Ooh, it's going to be close, though. Fighters in Seafoam Green are making their way across. Red player doesn't have any vision of this. This is why that scouting plane is so useful. Fighters likely going to engage each other here. There they go, firing away. Red fighters taking the first shot opportunity, managing to blast down the Seafoam Green fighter. And Quetzalcoatl will make it over to the island unscathed. Our first threat of commander here in the game. So far, so good. Cheaper, the yellow commander, spawning over here on the sea lane position. Going to be going into boats right here. This is a transition that I think we've seen a couple of times here, where you basically start with the bot lab, build some bots, build some res bots, build a couple of constructors, go for the geothermal, go for the mexes, all that good stuff. And then eventually you make your way into the water, starting with a torpedo launcher. And then eventually making your way into the build power and the boats and all that. I think 2 construction turrets is a little much early on in the game, though. The mechs going up right outside of, or right in range of Scimitar here. Pretty funny. Build power coming up, but it does mean there's not a lot of metal in the bank right here for bots, or boats, rather. I think probably what we need to do is reclaim this laboratory. We could use the res bots to do it. I think that's not a bad idea. Wouldn't mind seeing some constructors going around building wind turbines and energy converters as well. Just doing that really crude T1E converter economy. It's so good for the early game because you can end up with just a fabulous amount of metal. And those E-converters cost basically nothing. They cost a bunch of energy and 1 metal apiece, which makes them really, really easy to scale because you don't really have to put much metal into them. You can make them a very, very useful tool. Not bad. Front lines here are looking fabulous, by the way. Fart in a Jar doing a wonderful job of contesting it right here on the front lines. We do have the thugs and the pawns going up to the fronts here and just maintaining their position, trying to capture these 4.3 metal extractors. It's all well and good right here from the hot pink commander. The brown commander has pushed not quite so far. I think we probably want to capture this 4.3, I would imagine. That's quite a hefty sum of metal that could be going back to the economy of the brown commander right here, but just has been neglected. That's the maroon commander sacrificing himself to go up to T2. Ironically, T2 has already been up and running for a while here for Gabby 7, the tank commander. Oh, that's another commander sacrificed over here. All right, commanders falling left, right, and center right now for the red team. My goodness. Mass Dolphin with a destroyer to boot, going to be pumped out right here by Neon M. First engagement of the game. Dolphins jumping on top of this frigate here. Trying to, anyway. Giving that frigate more opportunities to fire here than I would have liked. If these had surrounded the frigate, it would have been dead in moments. But instead, the frigate does manage to get away, and now it's going to be retreating and firing at the same time, taking this fight really efficiently. Well, there you go. Softening up those boats quite nicely, actually. Oh, don't dive into it, though. The Dolphins are not taking this fight very efficiently. If they get us around, they will kill that frigate almost instantly. They're really, really efficient if you get nice surrounds with them. Destroyer, though, going to be more than enough AoE to blast down those boats, and suddenly we found ourselves in a effectively 1 versus 1 as the Destroyer is out now. But we do have the gunboats, and the gunboats do actually change things here. Their flanking bonus can trigger the... Or, well, their flanking, rather, can trigger the flanking bonus, and it does mean that that Destroyer will take quite a bit more damage. Yeah, you can see that Destroyer taking way more damage. The Destroyer in green taking significantly more damage than the Destroyer in red right here. It's the difference 100 metal worth of gunboats, well, more than 100, but, you know, 100 metal per gunboat makes. It's monumental. It's, is it all Armada? Oh, no, yeah, it's it's all Armada except for the red team leader. Quetzal, the only one with Cortex command. At least in the high seas, anyway. A couple of Garpike rolling their way up the shoreline here. Trying to find some value. There's a lot of LLTs over here blasting away at these, actually. Yeah, nicely done. LLT is going to save the day. Oh, 1% remaining on this. Oh, no. Manages to shut down the T2 mechs. That's unfortunate. Not the end of the world, of course, but that is a little bit unfortunate. Short on power here is the hot pink commander, Fart in a Jar. LLT not able to do anything. Oh, no. Energy has crumbled. We have heavy laser towers on the front here as well, but they're not able to do anything because there's no power. Oh, what a terrible, unfortunate situation right here for Fart in a Jar. The wind turbines were shot down first and foremost. Garpike's resistant to EMP. Gonna be difficult to paralyze. You need quite a lot of shuriken in order to shut down amphibious craft. We are getting there eventually, though. Slowly but surely. Finally, one of the Garpike is sort of frozen. They resist EMP badly, so they resist EMP goodly. They're extremely resistant to EMP, so even once you paralyze them a little bit, they still can manage to, recover quite quickly. It's all mechanical. All their systems are mechanical. They're pedal powered. It's at this point in the game when you have to start thinking about what is our transition going to look like. We already have a T2 unit marching his way to the front lines here. It's going to be a fat boy. Well, not quite to the front lines yet, I guess. Gonna go try and deal with those Garpike over here. I think a much more appealing solution, though, would just be a Sprinter or two. 2 or 3 Sprinter would probably be able to clean up these Garpike essentially without trade. But for the time being, no response. And the Garpike continue to ravage the backline here. Very, very efficient play right here, coming out from Trent, the Cyan commander here. Definitely not bad. The Navy in red looking quite good over here in the high seas. We do have a destroyer and a couple of frigates, as well as some of those gunboats over here. Love to see all that, making a World of difference right now as the red commander is getting ready to scale that economy. We don't have a T2 constructor handed over to the red player, which is a bit of a blunder. Getting those T2 mexes up and running can mean the world of difference as far as the economic game goes. Submarine's looking to move around and do some eco damage. There is a torpedo launcher over there, so that's always well and good. Shutting down those mexes is nice, but it's even better if you can manage to, for instance, snipe the build power of the lab or snipe some of the E production. It's a lot of destroyers built up right here for Scimitar. Frontline crumbling quickly. In fact, frontline nearly completely crumbled. Fardnajar's base was ravaged, of course, by those wonderful Garpike rolling through the base over here. Abuk 007 also, well, producing more and more grunts right here, but Grunt's not going to stand up at all against any of this T1. Ah, Fat Boy in purple on the front line here as well. Okay, so it's like the opposite of a Tsar rush. It wasn't a rush, and it wasn't a Tsar. It's a Fat Boy. And he's happy to blast away at those naval units out at the high seas. It has quite a tremendous range. It really can fire out for miles. Yeah, not bad coastal defense, actually. I don't mind it. Here's the Fat Boy in tan. Trying to get a miracle connection right here. We're looking to connect with those tanks. Ooh, and we do connect in a big way. Very nicely done. About, I want to say about 30% damage, maybe 20% damage done. Very nicely done. Trent in a lot of trouble here. Uh-oh. Gotta watch out. Missile boats firing away at whatever they can here. That Fat Boy's still firing away too. I like it, actually. I like the Fat Boy for coastal defense, because a lot of times these boats do end up getting clumped together, and it makes it really, really efficient against this. Now, as far as this trade goes, nicely done, using those T1 units to overwhelm the Fat Boy, getting on top of it and firing away. And, in fact, overwhelming the entire army right here. You know what? Maybe single-handedly saving the front line from obliteration right here is the Red Commander, moving the naval units into position here. I believe this is your cue, Nyanm. I think this is your cue that it's time to go ahead and go for a little bit of a run by. If you see your opponent's navy is completely out of position here. Oh, would you look at that? Beautifully done right there by the Greek commander. Just as I was saying it, put a couple of those dolphins in the back line here. We should probably be going after the build power. Ideally, we'd be going after the build power here, but either way, putting some dolphins in the back line here to make sure that things get a little bit complicated. Now, we did miss a bunch of energy production. I think this would have been another prime target right here. All said and done, I'm not sure that run by really achieved all too much, but at the very least, it did force the Red Army back from the shoreline here. Massive naval engagement out on the high seas right here will result in a overwhelming green victory with 4 destroyers back up and running. Thought that one might go down right there, but 4 destroyers up and running right here. Where are our res subs? Looks like they're coming out of the lab right now. A little bit late to deploy the res subs, but certainly those destroyers are going to have a decent time holding on to this wreckage field here. So long as you can reclaim this wreckage field, this starts to turn into your favor immediately. You can use this to build more and more destroyers. You can build this to build T2 Navy. You can use this wreckage to do basically anything. That's 6,000, nearly 7,000 metal worth of wreckage. It's enough for a T2 lab 3 times over. Just about 2 times over. Shuriken floating around on the front lines here as well, just trying to find some value, but not really needed all too much all over the place. Question becomes, what is our endgame solution? We have a second APHIS coming up at the 13-minute mark here for the Orange Commander. We're getting ready to scale that economy, slowly but surely. No build power here, very low build power here. We're just using constructors, which isn't the end of the world, but it's definitely a bit strange. This is the economy I like to see. So this has quickly become one of my favorite economies to do, is you just go for a bunch of butlers building wind turbines. You put wind turbines all over the place, and then instead of scaling with T2 like he is back here, instead you just go ahead and scale with T1. And what it means is you can continue building those T1 E converters all over the place, and you just build APHISes on the back of it. And you're not going to convert it 100% efficiency, but you'll convert it 90% efficiency, and that really is enough. The difference is made up in all the T3 units that you can get out on the field super quickly. Wow. What a bloodbath. Why are we sending these troops to their doom? The Brown Commander is sending these troops forward and getting, I believe, I could be wrong, but I believe that was 0 kills. I think that might have been I think that might have been a 100% inefficient trade. 0 damage done. 0 kills begotten. Submarines firing away here in the yellow composition. Trying to blast down the green here. But it's just a numbers game, and there's really only so much you can do once you've been overwhelmed like this. Mass frigate can technically counter this. If you go heavy enough into frigates and you can manage to get maybe 5-6 of them out, you can actually overwhelm destroyers with them. In this case, though, you're never going to be able to match that destroyer production because, of course, we've got the res subs under the seas, actually resurrecting a big part of this army. I thought we might just reclaim it and go for T2, but I guess feeling like resurrecting is the right call here. We do have quite a lot of res bots coming, or res subs, pardon me, coming out, so eventually I think this will end up resulting in a fabulous army for the Green Commander, all resurrected, brought back to life, refloated, and going to be happy to be serving. Typically speaking, frigates sort of counter destroyers, destroyers kind of counter frigates. It's basically a matter of how long range you can keep everything at. Ideally, you keep all your destroyers at their maximum range, you keep their frigates at their maximum range, you try and keep everything firing at its longest possible range without ever actually getting directly engaged. What that should mean, though, is that your frigates are in front of your destroyers and your gunboats are in front of your frigates. If you can manage to control that, if you can manage to get your boats into position like that, you're rewarded with a really sturdy naval composition, and oftentimes that can be more than enough to go ahead and swing a battle in your favor. Res sub taking damage right there, funnily enough. We're looking for an endgame here. Oh, there's a Juno missile to stop this single stream of ticks over here. We're looking for an endgame here. We've got 3 agitators on the front line. We've got mountains of static defense here for Mr. Greeds. And we do have a T2 death ball finally coming up here for Tartrazine, who's going into an advanced fusion reactor here. Probably not enough build power, I would say. I want to say maybe going up to about double this build power, actually. Yeah, that's 8 build turrets. I would say 16, maybe even 24 build turrets wouldn't be the worst idea, just to dump that metal a little bit quicker. Once you've already got the fusion reactors up and running, it is pretty easy to build up more build power. I think that's probably the direction we're going to want to go in. I'm surprised that we don't see butlers running around building wind turbines all over the place. Supreme Isthmus, famously efficient wind speeds. Shuriken doing the Lord's work out here. Paralyzing so many of these boats and making this an even more efficient trade than it already was. Green destroyers and frigates blasting away at everything over here, my goodness. This is a fabulous trade. Slowly but surely, these trades have resulted in an overwhelming, oppressive victory right here for the Green Commander. We just need res subs at this point. Just 100 res subs would make up the difference. Resurrecting and repairing all these boats, keeping them all afloat. It would be quite nice. T2 dismantling this front line right here. Oh, Mr. Greed's in a risky position. You can imagine that commander gets killed and blasts away all that very valuable static defense would be a nightmare. Fat Boy firing away alongside everything else. Oh, these units are moving way too far. Oh no. Oof. Way overstepping with the hounds right there. No reason for them to be pushing that aggressively. Fat Boy goes down as well. Fat Boy could have been the hard counter to these Sheldon. 1 or 2 juicy connections with those Sheldon would manage to overwhelm them. Shuriken doing a wonderful job. Frighten, or Freighton, however it's pronounced. With some excellent air control. Yeah, you know what? I really don't mind it. The T1 Shuriken, one of the most powerful Cortex units in the game, undeniably. We do need some more units, though. I think maybe spamming out a couple of Dolphins to go clean all this up wouldn't be the worst idea. Anything to try and make this a little bit better. Maroon Commander getting into the water here. Interesting. So neglecting the front line now that T2 is up and running. Oh my goodness, the amount of thugs. Oh, no. Alright, Apuk, learning moment. Once you're getting up to your T2 economy right here, it's time to start thinking about changing from the T1 units. All of these are so prone to like a single connection from a Tsar or an agitator or like anything. Ugh. That makes me scared. It just makes me really, really scared. Especially considering we have a Tsar on the front line here. Now, it is a Tsar in pink, but you can imagine 2 or 3 ticks sprinting into this thug ball, and suddenly you're going to find yourself with a lot of friendly fire, and it's not going to be so friendly. Yeah, Sheldon having a great time blasting away at all this, too. Oh no. Oh no, the thugs, not what we need here. Definitely not what we need. Oh, T2 transition right here. Okay, interesting. T2 transition from the yellow commander, decided to go ahead and get some of those T2 boats up and running. We do have a nice T2 economy going as well. You know what? I mean, we could use the T2 difference to win this fight. I don't know if Scimitar realizes that he's fully won this match at this point. There's literally no reason why the Green Commander couldn't push forward and win the naval lane here. Torpedo gunships are cheeky. Not bad. The Cortex torpedo gunships are quite bad, though. For whatever reason, the Armada ones are quite a bit better. I never got it fully explained as to why, exactly, but I know it's a fact. I know it's a fact because I believe it's a fact. That's all it takes, isn't it? Yeah. Oh, how the turns have tabled. Just like that, the Red Commander is left without an army, and the Green Commander is left with all this scrap metal. A couple of res subs eating up this metal on the backside of this map right here wouldn't be a bad idea. Submarines trying to fire away at whatever they can. There's a big ball of submarines underneath this army right here for the Green Commander, though. Paladin not firing very efficiently. Paladin's not your general skirmishing unit. They're more of a support class of unit. Gunships working on this though. The Cutlass, seaplane gunships firing away at a bunch of these boats over here. Yeah, not bad. They hit their shots pretty accurately, actually. I can't be mad about that. All those thugs left in ruin. Cerberus cannons up and running for both teams. The Cerberus meta on Supreme Isthmus does leave this no man's land quite full. Very, very difficult to push forward when the Cerberus is continually working on it like that. Wow. Well, you know what? The torpedo gunships may not be the best thing in the world. The Cutlass may not be the best thing in the world. But combined together and without any necessarily hard countered, just like that, the Green Army has been devastated. Huh. Well, I'll be. Destroyers going down left, right, and center here. It's the reason why air is the most powerful navy there is. No anti-air available right here. Oh, there we go. We do have some eradicators being thrown up right here. Trying to soften this air wall so that maybe some air support can come to the safety of the green team. But my goodness, that hurts. That hurts badly. And now we have T2. That was the opportunity that the Yellow Commander needed to go into T2. Now suddenly we find ourselves with an excellent turnaround here. Yeah. We do have T2 up and running, by the way, for the Green Commander. Did use that time to go for T2. But I'm surprised we didn't reclaim more of this, trying to at least save some of the face and reclaim a whole bunch of that. It's a submarine's nightmare, submarine's wasteland over here. Maybe it's a submarine's daydream. It's all submarines, every last one. Just spamming out T1 submarines. Okay, we're gonna go for some frigates here now. Marauder and ducks running into each other, colliding on the bottom of the ocean floor. Did see some Marauder coming up over on this side too. Are these exploiters? They are not. They're not. Thought I saw the word exploiter. I was just imagining things, I guess. Yeah, mass frigate. Tearing down the Buccaneers. Cruisers versus frigate. Goes to the frigate. Mass submarine also, you know, doing what they can. Not bad. Buccaneers trying to deal with the ducks here. Having a hard time. Marauder infiltration. Tan Commander ready to end this game, sending some Marauder across the map here. Hoping to do critical damage. We do have an APHIS being targeted. Oh, we need some splitties. Oh, don't lose them all. Alright. Splits are acceptable. Oh, wait. Oh no. Wait, we forgot to finish the mission. Oh, please send a Marauder back. Oh no. Oh, I don't think we're going to. We have 2% remaining left on that Aphis right here, and I have a feeling, yeah, the Marauder are all going to be dealt with. Oh, no. Taking this Aphis down would have popped everything right here for the purple commander. It would have shut off all the build power, all the power over here. It would have meant that this geothermal plasma battery was out of energy. Oh, that's a bummer. That is a bummer. Missile trucks firing away over here, now blasting down some of these agitators. That's actually an elegant solution to those. Missile trucks vastly outranging most of the stuff over here. They don't quite outrange Cerberus, though. With the rapid transition into T2, the yellow commander manages to take it. Dreadnought battleships having the time of their life, firing away at a whole bunch of this chaff. Now the green commander is on the run. Marauder Ball has been successfully built. Why are we sending it? The question on everybody's mind, what are these Marauder going to do? Grandiose, the lavender commander here on the blue team, controlling about 8 Marauder. Looking for an opportunity here. Driving them underneath the boats of the yellow commander is not the ideal, though. And again, tan Marauders also moving in the exact same pattern. It's pretty funny. Everybody trying to find their opportunity path here. Suddenly, this match is lit off like a firecracker. Everyone engaging all over the place. Buccaneers trying to deal with those submarines. My goodness, it's a lot of submarines, though. Yeah, having a hard time actually engaging the frigate submarine ball. Not bad. Not bad whatsoever. The frigate submarine ball, expensive. Very expensive, don't get me wrong. But also very effective, it does appear. The Marauders just Bing chilling underneath the seas here. Wonder what they're waiting for. Meanwhile, the tank commander actually using their Marauders, putting them in the enemy's backline and dealing some damage with them. That's exactly what we're hoping to see. Scimitar in a lot of trouble here. Razorback in position to intercept at the very least. One Razorback not going to be able to hold too much against these Marauders. Commander goes up in smoke. Razorback's very good, very sturdy, very difficult to bring down. Marauder forced into a retreat. Marauders in lavender have broken the front line, meanwhile. Commander in brown goes down. It's the lavender Marauders bringing down the brown commander. And suddenly the base right here is left in shambles. Build power, decimated. Economy, shattered. Shiva, marching forward. Nice Juno missile right there. Shuts down a whole bunch of the pawns that are streaming forward right here. Actually didn't shut down all too many of them. Oh. That's the base of the blue commander in a lot of trouble now. Aphis is the primary target, and boom goes the base of the blue commander. This is why we needed to pop this Aphis over here. You can see this base was almost immediately rebuilt right here by Decay. Not Decoy, as I've learned, but Decay. Despot battleship firing away at a couple of these Paladin. Doing a great job of it. It's a laser turret not doing much, but it's heavy cannon doing quite a bit of work. Nicely done. For its metal cost, the Despot is a ruthless battle beast. Wow, Dreadnought pretty good too, though. Oh my goodness. I guess in a head-on collision, the Dreadnought also a devastating war machine. My goodness. Putting out a brutal stream of firepower right there. So the funny thing about the Dreadnought is it's all directional, right? You can see it's only firing one cannon when it's shooting backwards because the front one gets blocked by the rear one. It's a pretty interesting interaction. Shiva are here, and they can penetrate the shield, so it's time we bring down that geothermal. There we go. Finally targeting down the geo here. Do we have enough at this point, though? Well, the shield's out of energy. The Geo is being primarily targeted. Boom goes the shield Geo combo. It's a lethal combo, but it does open up the midsection of the map. Wow, and then good old-fashioned Shiva push. You know, Shiva have not looked fabulous recently, but they've certainly been good under certain applications. This definitely feels like one. The tick spam here, routed over to the right-hand side and then back to the left again is interesting. Those dreadnoughts, though, so convincing. Yeah. Feels like if you were to keep those microed 100% effectively, 100% properly, they really could be the difference. Dragging up in the sky, trying desperately to do some good work here. This flamethrower can only do so much. Mounting a flamethrower to a plane just sounds pretty awesome. Something about that just yeah, sounds pretty rad. I don't know what it is exactly about it, but something about that just sounds amazing. The blue team holding on for dear life right now, but the red team with about double the economy. Overall, the front lines have crumbled. In fact, the entire northern side of the blue team has crumbled. The backline economy of the red team still completely intact. More and more APHIS coming up right here. E-converters all over the place. Build power in a massive slow. Yeah, gonna start building forward. And the never-ending Shiva March continues its never-endingness. I don't hate it, but we need an endgame. I think the red team is on the cusp of victory here. They just need to close out the match. Look at how many, oh my goodness, hold on, just really quickly. That's a casual 11,000, that's a Titan's worth of T1 units on the battlefield right there. I feel like it's worth pointing out that that is an entire T3 Titan's worth of T1 units on the battlefield. My goodness. Just to give you some perspective, just a little bit of perspective as to why that's a ridiculous amount of T1. This is nice. Pink Resbot's moving forward and reclaiming in a big old circle. Oh, we're resurrecting. Okay, yeah, I think we meant to reclaim there, and it was just a bit of a miscue. Pardon a jar. That would be a bold resurrection, trying to pick up the geothermal on the other side of the map right there. It's times like these when it's important to continue moving forward. It looks like we have a T2 constructor queued at some point. Moving forward and claiming these metal extractors is how you 100% cement this victory. It's how you make sure that you have there's no chance of a comeback maneuver. Marauder popping up now, running straight into the stream of pawns over here. It's a bit of a strange queue, all these pawns over here, but I suppose it works. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that pawns are the best counter to marauders, but certainly enough bodies get in the way and something's bound to happen, right? Yeah, you know what? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe pawns are the best counter to marauders. Yeah, because you can body block them pretty nicely and that sort of slows them down, and then they don't really have much of a choice after that. Yeah, oh, okay. Well, Marauder push shut down by Pawn Micro over here, coming out of the Lavender Commander's fabulous economy. This is what I was talking about with the T1 E-converters. You just build about 1 million of them. That way you don't have to ever build E-converters again. You can just build APHISes. I like it quite a lot. I think it's very, very seamless. Spares you build power too, of course. How are our red friends going to go ahead and finish this matchup? We'll go ahead and double speed here. Capital ship out for the Maroon Commander, my goodness. We've got 2 commanders in T2 Navy for some reason. Up against a single commander with T1 Navy. Boys, it's time that we go for an amphibious transition here. There's no reason to continue dumping thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of metal worth of naval units onto the field. Oh my goodness. Marauder run by, moving forward on the northern side. Yeah, Razorbacks in position to try and clean this up. They will manage to pop some E-converters. All right, not bad. E-converters taking a hit. Not the end of the world, but certainly nice. One Marauder peeled off to go kill the Aphis over there on the southern side, though. A little bit less comfy. Shiva starting to break through as well. Razorbacks are down. Thor are the only thing standing between the economy of Mr. Greeds and total obliteration. Now the base of Decay finally gets its sweet, sweet end. The Purple Commander falling to oblivion. Marauder rushing across the map, eager to jump on top of these wind turbines. The only downside of the wind turbine economy, it is quite fragile. Once you make that transition to Aphises, it doesn't matter too much, but until then, yeah, you're definitely in a bit of a fragile state. Marauder more than happy to blast out wind turbines, though. And there goes the last commander. I think we all saw it coming in the end there as the red team took an overwhelming economic victory, 1, 2, and 3 engagements at a time, and eventually overwhelmed the blue team with a fabulous show of force. What a wonderful match of Beyond All Reason. Thanks a ton for watching. I sure hope you enjoyed. I know I sure did. And I will see you in the very next game, Beyond All Reason. Peace out, everybody.